So, welcome to the Hustler Show, Shamik.
No, hi. Thank you so much.
Hello. So, we have seen your team, your business, your startup at the Shark Tank India, and I was curious to know, like, what is the reach out there now? Like, what do you think?
The reach has been really amazing, like we when we went into the show, we had very little idea of how things are going to turn out, right? Because it was the first season of its own.
Yeah,
So of course, like it has been a popular show in the West, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work very well here. But again, there are many reasons. So personally, I feel the timing of the show was very perfect, right? So Indians are at this whole growth phase in the journey of entrepreneurship and understanding about it. So things clicked on very well. So once our episode got telecasted and we received a massive amount of love, right? So we were not expecting such a good response. But again, the Sony team also did a very good job with the show, which the reason I'm saying so much is that set the premise, right, for all the startups to really excel after the show. So for us, the people, there have been constant phone calls, orders, increase in sales, and all of those things. So we have had a close to 400% jump in sales right immediately. Within a week's time from the episode telecast, and it's almost been 2 months, but the calls haven't stopped yet. And recently, the episodes are again getting telecasted in YouTube. The episodes are getting released. So we are receiving a lot of love. Like many people are really very kind of them. They're saying that ours was one of their, the most favorite pitch that they had in the show, and these are all very very good feedbacks from our side as well. So yeah, I think things have been really good after Shark Tank.
yeah, that means things are going upwards only now for Altor, sorry,
And yeah.
Altor. Where did
So
this name come from? Altor.
once we started thinking out, right, what can be a good brand or what can be a good association. So of course, like one of the first things we wanted is that it should start with A, of course, so that in the app
Yeah.
stores and the app setup, so it's always at the start. So it's either that or Z, right? So anything in the middle gets scattered. No, that's just a way of thinking, not necessarily true for all. But the second more important thing was the concept behind safety, right? So one of the primary things what we are also trying to achieve through the product is safety on the roads, reduce number of accidents, timely aid. So everything revolves around a caretaking aspect. So the word altor in Greek mythology, it means a caretaker, a well-wisher sort of a
Oh,
thing. So
okay.
from there, yeah,
Okay.
brand comes into the play because no matter what solutions we bring out, the idea always is to increase the safety aspect and to make loss of lives lesser on the road.
Yeah. So, first of all, we had a look at your product at the show. We got to know the story behind the product, like how did the team come about? You started working on this project. So, the first question in my mind is that was there any other idea before Altor, or was this the very first idea? Like, I think I understand that your team had been, you guys were college mates or something. So, were you into entrepreneurship beforehand only, and you had many ideas, and you chose Altor out of it, or was it just one product that you developed?
Yeah. So, okay. So, to start out with, we have zero exposure to entrepreneurship, right? So, we all come from normal middle class service
Yeah.
backgrounds, and none of us have any previous, business expertise in the family, so to say. So, no, that wasn't clearly the pathway. So, we will do entrepreneurship. That was never an agenda in life, honestly. So, it started out from
Hmm.
the problem. So, and I genuinely feel, we got lucky there, but ideally also that's where it should start from rather than any just general willingness. Of course the willingness can be there, but very important is you identify the problem. So for us, of course, like we mentioned in the show also, how we realize that there is a massive problem that can be solved, and there can be some good solutions, good value additions around that. So we were really kids at that point of time, so in first or second year of college. So there was just that raw idea and that raw enthusiasm that we'll keep working on it. And so this was always the problem that we had, but in terms of the solution, that kept changing right over time. So like if today what you see
Okay.
on yeah, like out there, if we compare that to what we had in 2017, and we ourselves laugh at that. So because that's those are like very college project sort of thing where you stick material on one on top of each other, just somehow making it work and trying to show that there is a functional unit. So there has been massive journey in that regard, and it's an iterative process. So you keep making one version, you give it out, you get feedbacks, and then you make changes there. So there are way more also to be in that journey, but yeah, it's always an iterative.
Yeah, so there has been considerable development over a period of time.
Massive, massive.
Yeah. So, as you said that you have improved a lot. You have worked a lot on this project. There must have been many immature projects before this. So, my second question is like, when do you feel like, where do you feel that this is the point that we should get started? Like, because definitely it's not a fixed journey. Like you go to school, college, you job. This is not a simple journey, so people don't know exactly where to start from. So what was that point, or I would say what was that you said that okay, we have this idea in mind, we have developed this over a period of time, we have got our dream by our side, so now let's jump and start this.
That's actually a very interesting question, because I'm trying to give how what can be sort of a concise answer, but in reality, very honestly, there is no such point where it's just one point where you can do it. But I can try and probably paint a picture on what happened to us. So essentially, once we were graduating, and as I told you, so we had very little exposure to entrepreneurship in general, startups, businesses, nothing like that. And it's the problem that got
Hmm.
started out. So we started looking for a solution. Being engineers, we started devising that solution while in college only. So that I think helped us a lot, because in college you often tend to get that time, right? So where you can sort of try out
Yeah.
new things without much of a hassle. And we kept doing that. And by when we were in third year, so by that time we realized that okay, now if we are making this, let's understand who are the people who will buy this, and what sort of an economy
Hmm.
can work around that. And then let's try
Hmm.
to talk to customers, let's understand what's the pricing, so on. So in and around that time, we got selected for a very prestigious competition. It's called, forgetting the name, it's organized by Texas Instruments and IIM Bangalore. So back in the college days, it was really meant a lot. So we got shortlisted there, and we went through all the stages of the competition, and we were one of the finalists. So back in third year,
Okay.
and there we had an opportunity to be incubated at NSRCL, that's the IIM Bangalore Incubation Cell. So it's a very
Okay.
prestigious
Okay.
occasion where our college was also very much for it, that no, you guys can leave, no need to take up classes, and we were very happy, of course, for that. So the only thing, again, a surprise is that our parents didn't allow, right? So for them, it's a
Oh.
massive that you're paying for your kids' education for 4 years, and at the end of third year, he says, "Okay, I'm dropping college." So that doesn't work out
Yeah.
here. So we were then, that's at that, like looking back, I think that can be a point where we got external validation for the first time from industry experts,
Hmm.
leaders in the
Hmm.
space talking. And out of all these that came up, we were one of the top 5 or top 10, somewhere around there. So that meant something at that point of time, that okay, what we are thinking, what we're trying to do probably has some sense. But it's just probably, right? It's probably 20%
Hmm. It's all risk.
yeah, 80% is raw risk. You have to figure it out on the job.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where the courage factor, or that the will to do it comes into play. And we just waited
Yeah,
out
when
for.
everybody else started recognizing that yes, this is something potential, it has potential, so that's when you thought that let's jump in it. Yeah.
And we waited for around a year. So once we graduated, then we knew that
Hmm.
no matter what happens with the jobs, we all got 3 to 4 job offers each, and we rejected all of that, because by then we knew this is what we are going for. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
journey for sure.
Courageous one. Yeah. So next one, I was saying that just as I said that one doesn't know when to start. There is no fixed exact point that okay, college over now business. There is no fixed
To listen to the heart,
time to it.
get the
Yeah,
call
you
from
have
it.
to listen to the heart. Yeah, exactly. So just as one doesn't know when to start, one doesn't know when to stop. Like we don't know what is the exact age to retire while at a business. And
Very
though you all are very young graduates, and it's very early to ask you guys that when will you stop or where will you stop. But what do you think?
I
Like in
mentioned
entrepreneurship,
that.
what is the age? Yeah, what is the age, or what is the what do you think? Like after automation, when a business goes on an autopilot mode, you can retire, or the journey continues. What do you think?
Again, it's a very interesting question because one of the things I took up personally is that I realized there is very little way, because I was only 22, right? So I'm currently only 25 and I'm not doing a course or anything. So there is very little way I can know what experience means, like of in terms of getting into having a corporate experience for 10 years and so on. So I figured out the only way to
Hmm.
learn is to read, listen to audiobooks, and try and understand what existing founders who have worked or who have tried to work, what their thoughts were like, so what their challenges were like. So I read a lot there, and this is a very important question that what is the end goal. So again, there are many things we didn't know when we started out, but today, if say I'm starting a second company, or if I'm say giving an advice to a young entrepreneur, one of the first things would
Yeah.
be have an end goal fixed. What is it that you want with this? So do you want to sell it off? Do you want to like get it acquired into
Hmm.
some thing, portfolio of companies, their product range? Or do you
Yeah.
want to take it to say sort of an IPO level where you are absolutely building it big, and you are trying to sort of have an empire established over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years and so on. So that is something that
Yeah.
people think about at the start. And for us, honestly speaking, we genuinely feel that for us right now it's the time to grow, absolutely. So the market hasn't even come to its full potential, very honestly speaking. So all these smart mobility talk, yeah,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
everything are only going to get more and more prominent with the influx of EVs and so on in the economy. So
Yes. Yes.
the major demand hasn't yet arrived, and there is a lot more yet to be done. So that's the mindset we are going on for. And honestly, there is no end time frame. So where I wish I could tell you that I'm retiring at 10, but no, that's a little
Yeah.
difficult. But for now,
But
the aim is
more than an age, I would say, as you said, that more than any age factor, you should be aware of what is the end goal of your organization or your business. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, as we're talking about the journey, what do you think is the biggest challenge or multiple challenges that an entrepreneur must be aware of beforehand? Like, okay, these are the challenges that are about to come my way. What do you think?
So I think it's safe to say that majority part of your journey will be challenges, right? So that's very very
Mm-hmm.
safe, I think, way of putting it, because we ourselves keep joking about it that it's mostly the journey is mostly as if there is a black jelly, and on top of that you're fitting up ice cream sticks. So that black jelly is challenges and sadness and lows. Those ice cream sticks are moments of joy. So you keep finding
Yeah.
for the next, and then you get a spike. Then it again comes down to the generic stuff. So it's very important to have that clarity that there will be challenges, and no matter which stage you are at, just the challenges will be different. There will be challenges more, if not less. So the idea
Mm.
always not to be bogged down by those challenges. Have a very clear vision in place. What exactly do you want? So most of the primary problems that I felt, again, that humans face around us is because they don't know what they want at the end of it. So that expectation
Mm.
is not very
Mm.
clear, right? So say someone jumping into a startup with the idea that in 6 months I'll start making $1 million a month. It's a no-no. It's a no-no thing. I mean, you should not even go that pathway. So yeah, the
Yeah.
expectations have to be very well cleared out. And then once you do that, then again, as I said, challenges will be there in every case. But once your expectations are clear, the challenges are way more easy to deal with. Then you sort of know what exactly you do in order to have a few things very clear. So yeah,
Yeah.
the major idea would be to keep going. And it's a very common saying that if you keep persisting at one point, definitely things will work out. Very important to stay persistent no matter what the challenge is.
So you should, just keep it in mind that challenges will be there. There'll be more
Always.
challenges than the, battery up moments. There'll
Then
be battery
yesterday.
down moments more. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So, in contrast to the challenges, I would say, what do you think? Like, what is the kick factor? Like, what is it that gives you the fun to keep the business going? like what inspires you to work on the challenges every day?
And I think again, this is also very important. The reason is without that, so there, why would someone? I mean, just by listening to the
Take up the
last question,
challenges.
yeah, why are you doing it also in the first place? No, so there are these kicks, of course, these moments of joy, like I said, and those are very rewarding. Those are very satisfying. So say something like really getting this sort of an appreciation from say five of the top businesses in the country, their founders in a
Mhm.
and that is a massive sort of a satisfaction, so to say. Again,
Like
it's not
that achievement we have seen, which which other
no, no, no,
kickstart,
of
those
course. So
kick moments are there for Altor?
right. So there are many. So right, when we secured the first sort of investment, right? So because we are a hardware startup, right from the start, we
Mhm.
always have to ensure that we have a basic lab setup, basic equipments done. And as I told you, so we started absolutely from scratch without even taking a penny from our house, and we were very clear on that. So we had to secure for some sort of an idea stage investment, and those early ones are the most difficult, right? So we
Yeah.
were constantly searching for what can be done, and then I think in a month's time we managed to secure two major investments. One was a proper investment from Triple IT Hyderabad, and the other was a government grant from the government of India. So those were absolutely early
That
day
was.
massive boosts. Yeah, that can actually give you confidence. And then when once you see the product develop, that's where the major high is.
Mm-hmm.
That you because we ourselves use the product a lot. Like I travel on bike sharing mostly because that's the fastest, and I really believe, and in a country like India, that's a massive thing. So every time I use the
Yeah.
helmet or products that we are constantly making, and we can see what the use cases are, the benefits are. So and when every time
Mm-hmm.
we have this very sort of an interesting statistic on Altor that till date, close to I would say 2 to 2,500 riders have tried the product and have used it, and not only do they love it, but they cannot imagine a bike ride now without Altor. So
Without Altor.
that's a massive you know satisfaction for us.
Yeah, that definitely is. Yes. Coming down to our basic and like one of the most interesting questions that people don't know, how does an entrepreneur work? Like it's not a 9 to 5 job. There are no fixed hours. So what is the daily routine of an entrepreneur like? Are there any fixed hours, or is as I said, Aldor is consistently on your mind 24/7 that we should do this also, we should do that also. Oh, that meeting is pending. Oh, okay, this was about to come. I forgot about it. You are sitting, you go relax on the bed, and suddenly something pops up in your mind. So is this a consistent, working throughout the day, or are there any fixed hours?
So it is okay in like the simplest way. It is constantly there, and as much as I can try and say that we are trying to organize, we are trying to get more, so to say, disciplined in terms of work hours and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But for a founder, honestly, it's very difficult not to have that thought constantly in your head because everything that we have is linked to Alter, right? So how that should grow or how that should be better tomorrow is the only thought that constantly runs. And yeah, so I have this
Mm-hmm.
weird when I get to bed at night finally, so everything closed, lights off, and you're sleeping. That's when most of the thoughts and ideas come. I think yeah, it happens with a few others as well, but it's a really challenging thing. But first, I used to get angry. Okay, why are these coming now? But now I've come to this realization that okay, if at all it's coming, then might as well note them down. So I sort of go to
Yeah.
sleep with a paper with me, and there it I wouldn't say this is the ideal. Well, nothing is ideal in this world, but always what you have to do, and I believe this very strongly, is whatever is needed, do that. As simple as that. So if at the early stage, if it's required for you to put in, say, beyond 12, beyond 13, 14 hours, when you're actually very scrappy, when you're figuring it out, how
Mm-hmm.
exactly it have to be done, do that. Be absolutely shameless in doing that. Because at the end, it's your company, it's your product, it's your business that's you're working for, right? But over time, as an organization grows, it is very important to bring in discipline because these are some of the things we learned the hard way. That say if I am constantly thinking about this 24/7, I cannot expect someone who is working for me to do the same. So
Everyone else. Yeah.
that that's a very important line that has to be drawn mentally. that for someone who is working with you, they have their expectations and we also have our expectations. So it has to be disciplined. It has to be mutually, constructive that way. And yeah, we are working for that. We haven't reached that totally. Yeah, we are on track.
Absolutely. And so apart from being consistent or being skillful at what you do, how I won't say that I completely believe in it, but this is a question that most of the people would raise time and again, that apart from being at it, how important is the factor of luck involved in entrepreneurship? Like,
So
what do you
luck
say?
is
Has there been any such incident for Altor also, that you say that okay, this was lucky for us, we were not prepared for it?
So I would say this very generally, right? I believe this very strongly. I think it can be extended across everything. That luck plays a role everywhere, right from
Mhm.
the point a person is born till the person is surviving, till everything he's doing. Because there is always a chance that something else might be the outcome and not this. And then things completely change.
Mhm.
So luck for me always plays a role. But how much role does it play? That's the important question. So is it like 90% of the
Yeah.
role? It's always the 10%, the last 10% after you have done your 90%. So that's where again I
Yeah,
feel.
that's important. Hmm.
Exactly. So I think that's again a problem of expectation, that people often put it on words like luck, talent. Why? Because people are afraid to put in the work. As simple as that. So if someone
Yeah.
really thinks that I need to get it done, I need to work for it, he will do it. It's as simple as that. So I genuinely believe luck is very important, but at the same time, focus on that 90% that you have to do, because luck is something you don't control, but that 90% you control. So I'll give an example. Say,
Hmm.
because Shark Tank again is the one of the recent experiences. So anything referred to that would make much more sense to the audience also.
Yeah.
So before that episode aired, so I remember I was having a talk with my co-founder Anirban the other day. So we hardly had any sleep, right, for the previous 3 days, because again the pitch was in Hindi, so we are not Hindi speakers,
Yes.
and we had to keep
You all are
practicing.
from Kolkata only.
Yeah. So Hindi is our third language technically, and all business pitches and all sessions, everything happens in English. So it's sort of a
Hmm.
difficult switch to make. But of course, like we have had to practice and then we do. So what resulted was that we had hardly zero sleep, 0 hours of sleep, literally. So just before the shoot day, we slept for 30 minutes, and it's at that time when you are constantly thinking you haven't slept and you're just about to go for a shoot day, which is probably one of the most important days of life, that why am I doing this? Am I also doing this? What's the point for everything? So I'm
Hmm.
not being able to sleep. What if they ask absolutely absurd questions and nothing? They think
Yeah.
it's the most horrible product in the world. These thoughts come to you, right? These are very natural. If someone is going to experience something, I feel these are very natural. So then the only thing that can take you forward is your willpower, that okay, let's try,
Yes.
let's still be as prepared as we can, and we sacrifice that last 50 minutes that we probably could have slept, and we noted down some more numbers. What can be the projections, what can be
Hmm.
numerical stuff that they asked. We went ahead everything. So everything that we prepared for in that last night, not a single question was asked, right? So technically one can say that night. But it's very important that we put in that work, we put in that effort by sacrificing personal gains over there. And I feel because of all that work that we put in, at the end, of course, luck played a role where things were very smooth inside the tank, stuff like that. That's always the
But
case.
luck played its role after you were done.
That is always, I believe, that for
Yes, that's
anything to pick up in the world.
yes. So I would say these were my questions. Now we come to the second part of the talk. That is what we like to call the hustler sprint. That is a rapid fire. So I'll give you two options. You have to choose one the moment you hear them. Okay.
Okay.
So,
This is sort of a
uh,
coffee with moment for me.
sorry, what?
No, no, this is sort of a coffee with Karan moment for me. So really,
We all learn from Coffee with Karan. We are all 90s kids. So we love
absolutely.
Coffee with Karan.
No, no,
Yeah.
put them. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, the first one is fame or money?
Oh, hard.
One, two, three, four, five.
Both.
It's his
Both.
friend.
Okay.
No,
No, no, it's
both. Just pick one. Pick
okay.
one.
option called cause, I would have gone for that maybe. But
Oh,
chalo, I'll
fame
pick money.
slash money slash cause. Money. Okay. Okay. Funding or bootstrap?
Bootstrap.
Debt or equity?
Debt.
Profitability or scalability?
I would say scalability, because if you make something very, very big and there is a fundamental understanding, you can have options to make it profitable later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I want to be a morning person, but currently I'm a night owl. Absolutely.
Yeah. A bigger team or a small, close knitted team?
Small, close knitted team, any day.
Yeah. Uh, an extraordinary idea which is not yet tested in the market, or an ordinary idea with thousands of users already. Which one would you prefer?
Prefer as in working with or investing in?
Yeah. No, working with it. Like somebody comes up with this idea, so which one would you pick? Like, okay, let's work on it.
The extraordinary one, because there is a lot more room to be innovative, to really draw things,
Hmm.
from any diaspora possible. So yeah, that would be what I say.
Okay, okay. Now, this is not a sprint wala question. This is like a general question. Uh, the business legend that you follow and would recommend others, not recommend, but somebody that's your idol that others would like to know.
Oh, there are many. So can it be more than one, or it has to be
Yeah,
the
yeah,
top?
absolutely.
So the top
Yeah,
choice, I
absolutely.
think,
Top three.
top three. So the top one would be Mark Cuban for sure. So Mark Cuban is one of the sharks in the US Shark Tank, and I personally am a massive fan of this whole show, the format, like be it Shark Tank
Okay.
US, yeah, or Dragons Den Canada, UK. So I
Hmm.
literally, like, I am not a TV or show person at all. So no Netflix and all that stuff. But the only thing I watch on TV is Shark Tank and its variants. So
Shark Tank.
Mark Cuban has really been a very inspiring figure, because again of the things he believes in, the way he thinks, that I feel is the most important. And okay, number two would be again tough. Okay, I'll pick Elon Musk, of course, because again of the sort of visions that he has, right? So it's very important to
Yeah.
have that imagination. Only then one can change. So he's
Yeah.
that
Those big
person.
dreams.
Exactly. And he can see it, right? So there are very few people who can see it with that clarity. And
Hmm.
third, of course, I would come to India, because India, definitely there are quite a few people as well who I really like. Like, I love the Sharks, of course, like Ashneer, Anupam Piyush, these are veteran investors. I would choose a single guy as Kunal Shah. I absolutely love him, the
Okay.
founder of Red and Free
Okay.
Charge. So he, I think, is one
Yeah.
of those individuals who really brings in a lot of sanity onto the table in terms of what needs to be done,
Hmm.
how it should be done. So,
Yeah, and any one or more than one new age startups that you would say everybody to watch out.
there are quite a few. There are quite a few. So exactly, especially
Apart
in
from Altor.
yeah, of course. So especially in India, if you consider health tech or med tech as a space,
Hmm.
really booming.
Hmm.
And I genuinely
Yeah.
feel that Indians should be very excited for mind-boggling health tech products in the next 5, 7, 10 years, where the uses of injections probably would go down a lot. The uses of blood tests, or taking blood sample out of your body to conduct tests, those things will are on
Hmm.
the verge of drastically getting changed, wherein there are just
Yes.
so to say AI driven solutions, which doesn't need to prick your body, doesn't need to collect samples,
Yeah.
and still deliver as good products. So there are really good things
That is
to
a.
be excited about, and India is sort of taking those massive leaps. So we had sort of that so to say pen and paper government hospital. From there, the leap is
Hmm.
going directly to sort of a new age digital
Yeah.
experience. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. That's what everybody is looking at. So yes, that is the sprint part. Now coming to the last section, that is your favorite book or movie. Your favorite
Okay.
book, or if you watch movies, your favorite movie.
Okay. So favorite book. Okay. One book I have put it. It's very difficult to get one. Uh, there are quite a
So
few, very honest.
are you a person who would read books rather than watching a movie adaptation, or watch movies of books?
Any day, any day. So as I told you, so I'm absolutely not a movie person. Movie, TV shows, no, zero ideas. I don't even know what people often talk about in my friend circle. It's that bad. But in terms of books, I'm always on books, and not just physical. Like I love them, but also audiobooks. Right? These are very helpful.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about
Mm-hmm.
two which I'm reading currently, and those both are very okay. I'll talk about three. So first would be High Performance Entrepreneur. It's a book by Mr. Shubroto Bakshi. So he was one of the founding
Okay.
members of IT, and he was
Okay.
one of those entrepreneurs back in the day who were competing with Infosys, Wipro, and TCS for IT services and solutions. And it talks about very clearly about how you should think of going about an entrepreneurial journey, how the things should be around you, how you should set the team, what are the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Very well written book. Second would be it's a book by Mr. Eric Rice. It's called Lean Startup. So that's again a
Okay.
book very important
Okay.
which tells you that what's the ideal way to start out, what's the ideal go-to-market strategy, right? At what point do you
Mm-hmm.
engage customers? Because most businesses at the end of the day tend to lose out there on acquiring the customers, on staying lean. Because for a startup, there are many things that can go wrong. Like literally every
Yes.
aspect, everything there
Yes.
is a chance it can go wrong. It's very important for you to stay lean, stay very focused on one or
Mm-hmm.
two rather than 20 others.
Yes.
The third book would be Hard Thing About Hard Things. So it's a book by Mr. Ben Horowitz. He again he's one of those Silicon Valley.com era founders who have not just seen the growth phase but also the fading phase, and now he's again
Mm-hmm.
writing very valuable. That talks about how a company, even if it's a tech company, it's only probably 10% tech and 90% is management, that boring management and business jobs that you have to
Yeah.
put in day in, day out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So these are the three books. Yeah. So your favorite tourist destination?
Hills, I love North Bengal in general. So
Okay.
it's a very, yeah. So I love mist, right? I love haze, mist, that sort of
Mm.
an atmosphere where there are the foggy jungles and hills around. So North Bengal, in particular, the whole region offers that vibe.
Okay. And the last one being your favorite quote that constantly inspires you.
Yeah. I believe a lot. Okay, there are again many, but I'll just stick to one which is just coming off the head because I very strongly believe in this, and it's by Confucius. That I may not
Okay.
be saying it exactly, but it's some variant that do to others
Mm-hmm.
what you want to be done to yourself. Very simple quote,
Yeah.
but it lays the foundation for so many things, right? And I keep telling this in every office discussion, in every employee meeting, in every so to say town hall
Mm.
meeting, that always for any decision that you take, be it a call with the customer, be it designing how good the product will fit, how easy it is, always
Mm-hmm.
remember, if you were there, would you do that? If you do that, then that's a
Yeah.
yes always. If not, then that's a no very clearly. So that I think is a
Yeah.
very powerful.
Yes, exactly. And this was not the last one. The last one being your favorite Shark Tank panelist.
Please don't put me here. So I love all of them, and this I'm not even joking because I personally, again, before the show, we couldn't know much about them, right? Because it was the first season. But now
Yeah.
after the being there and after getting to know them, it's just only respect. There's nothing else. Okay, chalo, I'll pick favorite as Aman probably. Aman is the funniest guy out there.
Okay.
He's a super
He's the
cool guy.
funniest.
I
Uh,
met him also personally.
uh,
Even Namita is a brilliant human being. I mean, I'm so glad that they both are in our team. And yeah, I
yeah.
love the others as well. I absolutely love Anupam, Piyush, Abhinav. They're just absolutely
Mm,
brilliant. And the amount of clarity that these guys have, right? That's the most biggest takeaway. I think.
exactly. So, finally, before signing off, we would like you to complete this line for all the hustlers out there, that hustle, but don't forget that dash. Hustle, but don't forget that. that one advice that you would say to every new age entrepreneur, what, like, hustle, but don't forget that this.
Even that, there will be challenges, so never give up. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That should be, I think I always keep it very, like, that's one of my aims also, like when I converse with people or when I try to talk to entrepreneurs. So I genuinely myself see a lot of hype around, that many people already are adding to the hype. It's so flowery, 300
Mm.
million there, 500 million
Mm.
company raised 2 billion. It's
Mm.
not, not that flowery. It's
Especially
not.
after it comes live on a TV show, so people believe that this is very.
And for anyone, right? For anyone trying to do a business, even
Yeah.
those guys who you are reading about in the news, they have been working for it for the
Mm.
last 10 years, which you didn't know about
Yeah.
because the news is reaching you now. So focus on the boring day to day important things which will build that success rather than just on that result.
Mm.
Focusing on the result will get no one nowhere. But focusing on the process
Yeah.
might actually help people understand or deal with these struggles on a day to day basis.
Yeah. So be prepared for the challenges.
Absolutely. And then do not give up. No matter what happens, if you believe in it, do not give up. That's
Yes, exactly. So thank you, Shamik. I hope it was a good experience on
very,
your
very
part too. Yeah. So I would say
thank
thank you, and we will look forward to having more discussions ahead.
you. Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you to the whole Hustler team. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Thanks. Keep inspiring the community. It's very, very needed.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.